Hey everyone, welcome to the Mobile User Acquisition Show. In the Mobile User Acquisition Show, we feature interviews with the smartest folks in mobile and growth who share invaluable, actionable, tactical insights on every aspect of mobile growth and marketing, not to mention some adjacent areas just as well. The Mobile User Acquisition Show is presented by me, Shamant Rao, CEO of the mobile growth marketing firm Rocketship HQ, and produced by Karishma Sundaram, our superstar content marketing manager at Rocketship HQ. Each episode includes strategies, tips, and pointers from the leading edge of mobile growth marketing that you can use to unlock tremendous growth for your app in a sustainable and capital efficient manner. Today, we're going to talk about some of the big changes that are coming to AAA campaigns on Facebook. But before we jump into that, a quick housekeeping announcement. On the 18th of August 2021, we will be speaking in a webinar hosted by our friends at Singular titled State of iOS UA, Stats, Trends, and Strategy. We've come quite some way from April 2021 when Apple pulled the trigger on app tracking transparency. So what do the latest stats look like? How are folks adapting? Join us and our friends from Liftoff, Singular, and Ad Colony in this webinar, where we all share first-hand experiences of what is changing, what's working, and what isn't. This is this coming Wednesday, 18th of August at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. We will have a link to register in the show notes. So please feel free to register if this is of interest to you. Now, for the regular transmission for this week, we've talked about some of the challenges with Facebook's AAA campaigns. And if you haven't done so, please check out our earlier episodes. Primarily, I would recommend checking out 5 reasons why Facebook's automated app ads are not ready for prime time yet. The next one would be how to win with Facebook's automated app ads, AAA, with Gina Kwong, Senior User Acquisition Manager at Electronic Arts. Now, in both these episodes, the key takeaway was that even though AAA can be hugely powerful, these campaigns have had some critical limitations because of the lack of control they offer to advertisers. In fact, even in our second episode with Gina about how to win with AAA, she acknowledges that the lack of control can be a serious challenge if you're looking to manage and mitigate risk. Well, a lot of that is changing. Facebook is rolling out some much awaited features that should mitigate at least some of the challenges and risks associated with AAA. Here are these 3 changes that we have spotted in the wild just now. Number 1, you can exclude users of specific age groups. Now, this is honestly a huge deal. A number of apps we work with found that AAA campaigns used to give a lot of users that are under 18, and there was just no way to exclude them. Obviously, a lot of these users are less likely to monetize for a number of apps. Now, if you're in the current paradigm, with the current changes, if your older users are more likely to monetize, you can just target them directly. Again, to be clear, the functionality is somewhat limited. As you can see from the screenshot that we've shared in the show notes, you can target users 30 plus, you can target users 26 plus, 25 plus, and so on and so forth. But you can't exactly target users between 35 and 45 or users over 40. Right? So there's like a discrete and limited number of age ranges that are available for targeting just now. So this is limited, but this is still huge progress compared to what was happening before. Number 2, you can exclude custom audiences. Again, a huge deal in addressing a common frustration with the earlier AAA campaigns that they used to give both new and existing users. There was just no way to exclude existing users of your app from campaigns. And that was very, very frustrating because this would end up being part prospecting, part retargeting. There's just no way to separate these out. Now, of course, with custom audience exclusion, you can exclude different custom audiences. Maybe that's somebody that's opened the app in the last 180 days, all installers, all purchasers, what have you. We have a screenshot of that in the show notes as well. You can also geo-target specific states and cities within countries. Another common frustration was that AAA campaigns only allowed targeting at the country level, not at the state or city level. For a number of verticals we've worked with, such as dating or food delivery, that very much depend on getting users at a local level, that was very frustrating and it rendered AAA practically unusable. Now, Facebook does allow us to target cities and states, which again is a huge relief for advertisers that want to target locally. For what it's worth, the local targeting is mentioned in Facebook's documentation, but we do not yet see this in the Facebook ad interface, at least in the accounts we manage. But since this has been publicly announced, we do expect this to be available soon. And with all of this begs the question, what about iOS 14 or ATT? The good news is that the first and third features we talk about here, age targeting and local targeting, are based out of Facebook's first-party data. These are not going to be impacted by ATT or iOS 14. Custom audience exclusion is obviously going to be impacted by ATT because that is driven by user level data. So the custom audience exclusion is a bigger deal on Android than on iOS. The local targeting and the age targeting are a bigger deal on both platforms. How do you make these changes? Go into your business manager, apps, advertising settings, hit edit. You should see your apps there. Hit edit against each of these apps. You should see the options for selecting the age range and custom audience exclusions in there, and hopefully the city and state targeting will show up there soon just as well. So all the best in discovering what changes you might see with AAA campaigns going forward. And before we go, a quick reminder, on the 18th of August 2021, we will be speaking on a webinar hosted by our friends at Singular titled State of iOS UA, Stats, Trends, and Strategy. We've come a long way from April 2021 when Apple pulled the trigger on app tracking transparency. So what do the latest stats look like? How are folks adapting? Join us and our friends from Liftoff, Singular, and Ad Colony in this webinar where we all share first-hand experiences of what's changing, what's working, what isn't, and offer strategic and tactical recommendations for what to do in the coming months. This is this coming Wednesday, the 18th of August at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. There's a link. There's going to be a link to register in the show notes. Please do register if this is of interest to you. Thank you so much.
For more tips, pointers, and strategies from the leading edge of mobile user acquisition, subscribe to our YouTube channel right here, or check out our blog, rocketship.hq.com/blog.